In this video, I want to share with you a message very recent that I received from my Pleiadian guide, and it came out of that intense space of stillness, that quiet mind that I've been experiencing lately. She came forward and she filled me in as to what's been happening and what is really available for you to take advantage of just coming out of all of this amazing high frequency light we've been receiving over the past few months. So a little while ago, I was just sitting and chilling. Like during the day, I feel like, I'm always working, constantly trying to come up with the next piece of content or work to really keep that ball moving, right? Well, recently, I found myself really in an opposite mindset, wanting to scale back and kind of slow it down a little bit and really get in touch with what's happening inside. I feel like I've gone through this big growth phase recently. We've been receiving just incredible high frequency energy over the past few months. And I feel like the stillness or this slowing down period really is allowing me to integrate a lot of that. But she came forward and she offered me a really amazing perspective on what's been happening. And she wanted me to share this message because it's really something that you can take advantage of now and as we head into the rest of this year. So she showed me this image of it was just like an energetic field, just completely blowing up, being very expansive. And within that field were little nuggets of information that I had the opportunity to bring awareness to over the past few weeks, really. So this came out of that sense or space of stillness, an expanded field from all the energy that I've been receiving. Really was expansive when I could get in and ground and anchor into the body and just let go and appreciate the stillness. All of these little nuggets in my field start to become perceivable by me. And they represent programming, habits, dense emotions, dense energy, some traumas from my past. They really are becoming visible. But the amazing thing that she wanted me to be aware of is the fact that I am now able to see them more clearly and see how I've changed, how they hold less charge, they hold less energy, and things are coming into view right now for me. I'm bringing awareness to things about me that have been like long since buried. You go through this journey and you feel like you're healing. You ride the waves, you expand, you contract, you ground, you anchor, you do the shadow work. You get to shine the light of consciousness on your shadows and on some of the traumas. But the situation that I'm finding myself in, and many of you can be finding yourself in that situation right now as well, is the ability to really sit back, slow it down, and find the subtleties within your field. And those subtleties will lead to versions of you that are now ready to be reintegrated and be healed, essentially. So you can see it from a new lens, from a new perspective. Now, she was very just so complete with this information with me, just bringing this forward, saying that this is something that is new. I certainly haven't felt this way before. I'm able to look at situations in my reality. And again, these are those nuggets within the field, and I can see it from a completely new perspective. It's from a more integrated, more healed perspective. And I could allow these old versions to be there and play out. As I observe them, I hold a loving, compassionate space, and I bring them in and allow them to rejoin the party. Now, as we do this, essentially what we're doing is this expansive field. It's all the space we've been creating. It's all the energy we've been receiving. We've been vibrating up in frequency. It's been releasing a lot of density. It's been floating up, and these little nuggets represent the density there. A lot of them don't have charge anymore, as I've said, but our guides, my Pleiadian guides, said that they are now able to more fully step in and view this reality through our lens, meaning we are grounding these aspects of us that reside multidimensionally in higher frequency planes, grounding them, and we've created the space to start to integrate that energy. So if you resonate with Pleiadian or Arcturian or whatever it may be for you, that is likely going to be the first energy that you are going to really be able to connect with and start to integrate. So think of them, because she was sending me these visions of them really stepping down into our body. Now, remember, our guides are us. They're aspects of us. It's just this reality, this dimensional field that fragments everything out, and we perceive them as separate. But we are bringing them back into the mix. And she's told me this before, a year or two ago, that there were higher frequency, much higher frequency beings entering our universe. They're stepping down in frequency because we have created space to allow them to start to experience this reality through us. That's a function of us rising in frequency, clearing the space within our physical body, doing our shadow work, healing, anchoring into the planet. The whole planet rises in frequency. We rise in frequency. The universe rises in frequency, right? And that allows them to start to enter this sphere of reality and enter through our bodies and start to experience life and the reality through the lens of us. So we should feel very honored to be able to do that. Now, as we continue to rise in frequency, we become more aware of these higher aspects of us. And again, if you resonate with Pleiadians, that's likely the first beings or ETs that you are going to come in contact with, and they are going to start to step down and start to integrate through you. As you continue to rise in frequency, other versions of you will come into the picture, and they will step down and start to integrate into you. And when that happens, the knowledge of these higher realms, the knowledge that comes with fifth, sixth, seventh dimensional fields starts to get unlocked within you. It starts to come up. We call that an awakening. We can call that a remembrance. Okay, it's all been locked away in your DNA. Your DNA has not been vibrating at a frequency to be able to connect with that energy. It's been frozen. It's now starting to really free up and vibrate. So think of when we see or visualize this expanded sphere or field and these little aspects in there, those are still the aspects of DNA that are really frozen and locked up. And each one of those contains little nuggets of information that when you can shine your light of consciousness on these and make the unconscious conscious. And again, we could talk about relating to past versions of you, traumatized versions of you. When you allow them the space to come back online, the aspect of DNA comes back online, and all the information that was held within that frequency, that particular frequency, starts to unravel, and it starts to rejoin the whole, and you start to perceive it, you start to remember it. She was explaining to me like the psychic abilities are going to start to become more enhanced. And again, that is a function of reclaiming these frozen aspects of us that have been locked away in the trauma. As we unlock those start to vibrate faster. It comes online. That information rejoins your energetic flow, your toric field, and it comes through here, the hemispheres of the brain. You start to able to perceive it, and it reflects out in your reality. So when we think of this sphere again, a lot of that stuff that's in there that was frozen, that's ready to be awakened, you can spot versions of that in your reality. So when you're coming into situations that don't feel so good, I want you to take a look at that situation, feel it, and think, is this an old version of me that is creating this feeling right now from a pattern, from a habit, something that I've just learned to do because it made me feel safe? If that's the case, fully feel it, because there is a new level of energy right underneath that, a level of excitement, a level of joy, a level of love, a level of just not being able to have to predict, just letting it flow, that is ready to rise up. So allow these situations in your reality to be the reflection, see them as a reflection of these little nuggets of traumas, frozen aspects of your DNA that are ready to come back online. Because when you can spot it, sometimes we're shown it in the reality to get our attention because we're all so focused externally. Know that it's happening within you, and your guides are fully supporting this process. They are holding space for you, holding that sphere out, because when things are like this, they're hard to see, right? But when we could expand them out here, then they're easier to see. Okay, so be aware of everything that's happening. Know that it's all part of the awakening that's happening within you. These aspects of you that have been fragmented off are coming back online. They're being reintegrated. You have the ability and the power. You have the awareness to do it. You can focus that awareness on these aspects, even if it occurs from a trigger in your reality. Focus on it. What's the underlying emotion there? Breathe with it. Hold a loving, compassionate space. Allow that to light up, because as that happens, you are going to feel more pulled into your heart space, more pulled in, anchored into your body, more grounded. And with that feeling, that's like an open door to allow more of your multidimensional energy to step down in here. And all of that goodness, all of that magic that's been locked away starts to unfold. So let's look a little less for the magic going forward over these next few months. Let's look to these healing, these subtleties, the subtle energy, the things that maybe have been going under the radar for a long, long time. Again, they've kind of been exploded out so we could see them all. Let's do the work to look for that, because every time we find and unlock the information that is within there, we reclaim an aspect of our multidimensional nature. You're going to get more in tune with your guides, your star guides, your Pleiadian guides, your Arcturian guides, your Sirian guides, whoever it is for you. You're going to start to become more in tune with that energy. You're going to start to integrate that energy more, and you truly are going to become a multi-dimensional human. This was a very, very powerful message right on the heels of what I've been going through past few weeks, from all the expansion we've had in the months of July, the month of August. I've had this big slowdown, and sometimes when you're feeling that slowdown and you're taking your hand on the throttle and you're pulling it back, you kind of come back, the resistance, you feel a little bit of resistance, and then it starts to settle, and you're left with a bigger perspective. Now you can see what's going on around you because you're not so laser focused going forward. So it's important to keep that in mind as we slow down, as we head into the, we've got the equinox coming up, right? And then we have the solstice in a few months. So let's bring it in, focus inside. Let's look with that perspective and spot things in our reality that need healing, and allow ourselves to feel it and recognize that these are old versions of you that are just ready to rejoin the party. So such a powerful, powerful message. If you know anyone that this message can help, please share it. I'd be so grateful. Subscribe, leave a comment, click that like button, and I will see you next time. Thank you.